welcome back to episode, what is this now?
Five.
We did 4 last week.
We did.
So, what new with you this week?
Not very much. What are we going to do this week, Pinky? The same thing we do every week.
Not much.
Try to take over the world.
Well, yeah, that's always a side hustle. We're trying to take over the world.
What's new with me this week? Nothing. Just more work and more going to the gym and breathing air.
Yeah. That's a good thing to do, you know? Breathe air so you don't not take over the world.
Meet your demise.
Yeah. I guess I saw a meme on Facebook. God has decided I should live another day and I'm going to make it your problem.
I love that energy.
So yeah.
It's like that thing on Instagram as well. It's like I don't just want to be successful. I want everyone else to feel. It's like it takes like a whole like sort of elevated plane of living to wake up and choose hatred.
Yeah, everybody must feel. It's not enough that you must succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much new with me this week.
I didn't ask.
I don't care.
What are you doing?
Not much new with me this week.
Continue.
Anything new this week? But yeah, no. So starting a new job next week. So just getting prepared for to become another corpo slave to the wage. Another wage slave on the grind.
Wedge cook, as people call it.
Yeah, got my coffee this episode. I decided to go for coffee instead of tea because
we'd be out here fucking tired.
Yeah, like after one coffee though, I can't drink more, which means we don't have to stop for me to get more tea.
Yeah, I had a Coke Zero and I thought it would like sort of pump me up a wee bit. Didn't really. So now I've just moved on to beer.
Move on to the beer.
So are you excited to start your new job?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it's sort of the kind of thing where like it's been coming for so long that I just kind of want to get it done now because I'm kind of
100%.
like.
Do you have that like sort of thing where it's like, fuck, working now for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Is that realization sort of
kind of creeps in. It's like the next big milestone after this is going to be my funeral.
Love that.
That's the only thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to have kids. Those kids aren't going to have any milestones for me to help out. I'm going to work and then I'm going to die. That's it. Finished.
It's the American dream, baby.
The American dream, boy.
Yeah. No, I love that energy. It's brilliant.
Yeah. I tried the close-up scenes last episode.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make enough of an impact for anyone to really comment on them.
Yeah. Every time I saw a close-up of my face, I was just like, maybe jump a wee.
Fucking bats.
Fucking pigs.
But yeah, so I'll probably not go as heavy on it this time. It was just like a new toy. Like last episode, I was like, yes, I remember to set this up, so I'm going to use it like mad. And you were saying 2 words, and that was back to me. It was like, so if I do use it, it'll probably be for really big points or really deep philosophical tangents. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to go back and forward because it's hard on the fingers and like sometimes I mistype keys and mess up the recording and have to start again.
That's fair.
So yeah. But anyway, let's go back to episode. Was it episode 2 we talked about Altair.tv?
Yeah, probably.
Well, username reservations went out today, so I have definitely secured the Jim Bob channel. So it'll probably be around episode 16, 17 when Altair comes around, and I think we had talked about doing that live. So when Altair launches, we'll do an episode live. So
I always thought I should like start my own streaming channel, but I don't know what I would stream. Just me like having fucking mental breakdowns.
Just you looking at the camera, like.
See how long I can stare at the camera.
Yeah. People in chat dropping like bit bombs and subbing. Oh, this is a great. Like the biggest thing since Kanye.
Man doesn't blink for 20 hours.
Just a picture of you, and then every time you need to blink, you just put the picture up. Back. Yeah, so it's really good. Altair sort of moving forward. Like that's kind of tangible progress because it's been previously just sort of it's coming. We're doing things. I want to see the things. Let me see them.
So you say it'll be around like episode 17 of us recording by the time it comes out?
Yeah, I think so. So like
that's assuming we stay dedicated enough.
Because we started recording this podcast in September time. When was it? When did we start?
It was like 6 weeks ago or something. Was it?
At the end of August.
Was it?
Yeah. So that's like 5 episodes a month. So by the time it hits November, we'll be on episode 10, 11.
I think we've only missed 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It is.
So I think by the time Altair launches, we should be like episode 10, 11, and then I think by the time it's November, we'll be on episode 10 or 11, and then by the time they launch around the 19th, we'll be on episode 13, 14. So
fair.
One of those episodes with 2 numbers in them, which is kind of crazy to think because we're not even we're only at episode 5 now.
Here it'll soon fucking fly.
And we'll have over 10 episodes by the time Altair comes out in like 3 months.
I know one of my friends actually messaged me there whenever I put up a story saying that we were going to record the next episode, and he was just like, fuck, you guys don't wait around.
And we don't wait around.
Nah, baby, we don't do that shit.
Gotta get that bread.
Gotta get that bread.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's been a week. I've kind of been, I'm not really thinking about things because I couldn't tell you one thing I've been thinking about, but
just thinking about nothing.
Kind of a reflective week, but at the same time, just sort of vibing and taking things easy, you know.
Yeah, trying to fucking chill out before you.
Trying to chill out before
sell your soul.
Working for the rest of my life, which is great.
Yeah.
But they do employee discounts on quite a lot of things, which I'm kind of excited about because
that's cool as fuck, actually.
40% off Odeon tickets.
Fuck yeah.
Like as much as you want, whenever. Which is great.
100%.
Sorry, there might be a limit on it. I haven't checked. But yeah, so there might be. I don't know.
Oh, you can't put limits on what you don't know.
What's it like? I'm still paying for them, so it's not as if I'm getting for free. So I don't see why there would be a limit because we're still making some kind of money. Because a cinema ticket sure as hell shouldn't cost what it costs. I'll tell you that now.
That's a whole fucking different story.
Not for another episode. But yeah, no, that's really, I just wanted to bring that up because when things develop with previous episodes, I think maybe it would be good to just update on them and things we talked about before.
100%, yeah.
And yeah.
I can't even think of anything from previous episodes that I've kind of heard anything more about.
C'est la vie. It would have been good to have a close up there, but you weren't talking for long enough for it to go off to do a close up. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess in the lead up to working, I've been sort of getting myself into the mood for it because, like, with school and stuff, people I know, they're like, "Oh, I'm going back to school, so I need to go and get all these like pencils and pens and all, like a new bag." And literally, I was like we're going back to last week. If it's not what I'm doing right now, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like wake up on the day. Or like the day before, go to school tomorrow.
Fuck, I should get a laptop for this job.
Go to school tomorrow. Where's the where's last year's bag at? Oh, there it is. There, just brush off like all.
So how are you meant to do your job? Are you not meant to have a computer?
Yeah.
Fuck, I was meant to get one of these. That's right.
That's what I was supposed to do the other day.
That's right.
Your man's still standing outside waiting for me with the bag.
John Travolta.
But yeah, so. Like for this, I've kind of we dumbed out the podcast room is also my office for the
fucking swagged
for
out
working.
Yeah.
We went to IKEA and we grabbed like some new desk bits, so it's kind of like the minimalist dream, but don't look behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That was me getting.
I enjoyed our wee trip to IKEA. Normally I get quite fucking frustrated in IKEA because I like overhear people have conversations like, "Oh, should we get this lamp or should we get this lamp?" It's like, it's a fucking lamp. It does what it's meant to fucking do. Who gives a fuck what sort of lamp it is?
Get the IKEA Place app and you'll be able to see it in your home in AR.
But because I knew it was like for your like work setup, I was like, do you think this desk would look better in the navy blue or the cream? Or
that was me. Yeah, that was me.
I was more into it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to like entertain it as much. I was expecting you to just treat the fucking desk, doesn't matter.
Fucking desk.
But you kind of shared the same concerns as me because the room itself was cream, so I didn't want like a creamy looking desk because then it would just be like. It'd be like depth perception. You go to put your coffee down, and you're actually just dropping it off the side of the desk.
Those 50p donuts are quite a big motivator as well.
Oh yes, we would go IKEA for the donuts. Oh yes. the market hall, the food hall.
I love the way whenever we were about to go out the door, I was like, here, should I just go get 8 donuts?
What about 8 donuts? And you weren't even feeling well either.
I had my second vaccine. I felt
you just got your second vaccination. By the way, get vaccinated.
I heard in England they're like trying to get people to have their 3rd vaccine now. I don't know. I don't know if I would get a 3rd one in a hurry, because I felt so bad after the second one, and it kind of made me sort of worried, like, fuck, what are the long-term effects of it, like, down the line, but...
Like, it really does hit people differently, because I was fine with both of them, apart from a sore arm, and you were fine after the first one.
Yeah.
But just a sore
arm. Yeah.
And I had heard, like, basically, most people that get it, if they're fine after the first one, they're only fine after the second one, too, but...
Man, I was like fucking... I was in death's doors, you know, we were in ground after we went to IKEA, and I was just like fucking... Like,
you were hanging off the side of the desk.
Like
I was bamming on about, like... I was bamming on about interfaces and stuff, and you were like... You were half there, you were half present, you were like...
I was like, anytime I like saw like a mistake in your code or something, I was like, change that to that. Or
change that. That's wrong. I was just like, oh, why is it not working?
And they're like, oh, it's closing time, you just have to go. And I was like, okay.
You just came back from the dead, you were like...
Hi, boy.
Oh, like after the faithful party, when you were just sitting like, yeah.
Oh fuck, that's right, yeah. With the hiccups of death. Yeah. And splayed out in the fucking bed.
Yeah, like,
in the shadow realm. Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we fucking found your drink cup the next day, and I was like, you don't want to get it away from me.
It wasn't a fun next day. It's one of the worst hangovers I've had in a while. What all did I drink? I had so I had beers, and then I had some vodka, and then I had some red diesel, which somebody fucking made for me.
Ricky Yoke?
Yeah, which also has vodka in it, and then one of the people we know also said, oh, I have a full bottle of, what do you call that shit? Prosecco. She was like, I have a full bottle of Prosecco, drink away at it. So I took that as, drink the whole bottle. So I like fucking drank all that. And then I'm pretty sure there was some whiskey going around too.
Yeah, there was whiskey going around.
And I think I had a couple of shots.
Shots of everything else too.
So the next day I was fucking out of it, man.
Yeah, I didn't drink that night. I was responsible.
Yeah.
I was driving people home at 8 a.m. the next day. So got to bed like 4 after taking down 3 gazebos, and then with 3 hours sleep, alarm went off.
Yeah.
Then, because I was taking antibiotics at the time, and you're supposed to take them 4 hours apart, so I had like 4 hours apart alarms set on my phone.
Yeah.
And like my alarm went off, I was like, oh right, I'll go and wake this man up. Wouldn't woke him up, and then walked straight out the door and left my phone in the bedroom with her sleeping. And I came home and it was still going.
Really?
Yeah, she was just sleeping through it. And I think because I like looked at it in the bed and then dropped it on the bed and got like she rolled over then onto it after I left.
Just to like fucking subdue.
Yeah, it was just like muffling the sound. She's like, I found your phone. I'm like, oh thanks. Because like I was halfway back from taking the guy home and I was like,
yeah, it's
like I looked at the clock and I was like, wait, why am I not hearing my alarm? And I was like, oh, I left my phone.
And this guy who was a dear friend of ours, it was funny. I remember you saying that he had quite a lot of whiskey and he was at the point where he was still drunk and he wasn't hungover yet, but he just knew there was like a very bad fucking impending hangover coming his way, so he was just like, oh man, I'm gonna regret this. That's funny. That's a man who's like so self-aware.
Who's self-aware, yeah.
But that was a good night.
That was a good night.
Then I had like a fucking cough for like a month after that, which in case you haven't noticed is starting to clear up now.
So yeah, those of you with keen minds will place that party just before we recorded episode 1.
So I think my whole body was just in like fucking shutdown after the amount of alcohol I had.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else really I wanted to speak about. Nothing else really came up or has been brought to mind. We'll take it to Instagram now. So I put up, as I normally do, does anybody have anything they want us to talk about? You know, we've both got our own things that we'll chat about. But let me know. There was a crash in F1 Did you hear about it?
I did hear about it, yeah, but it's not something that I watch.
Yeah. Well, the motorsport director of Cranfield University, which come on, what place? Cranfield.
This is a cranberry juice.
Yeah.
But I love cranberry juice, so.
Oh, I thought you said you were away to Creamfields. No, I'm in Cranfield. But
that's where the shams go.
But he says that Lewis Hamilton, so the director of motorsport at Cranfield University, says that Hamilton was not lucky but saved by engineering and science in his Formula 1 crash. So I was expecting this really big, huge fireball boom, all that sort of stuff.
I think the guy would have been dead if that had been the case.
I thought so. I thought it was a really big thing, or at least tires burst or car split in half and whatever. But nah. So from what I can tell, he was going around the inside, and somebody else was trying to take the same sort of line.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he tried to get out of the way, he basically ended up driving over the top of him. Because of the way F1 cars are designed, there's a weak thing just behind their head.
Right.
And that thing basically held out long enough to get the other car over the top of him and not land on his head. So basically what happened was they were both coming around the corner, and then one of them ended up driving over the top of him.
Yeah.
And
somehow he didn't fucking crush his head.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's good. At least he's still alive.
That's kind of anticlimactic. I was expecting kind of Richard Hammond style jet car 200 mile an hour. Everywhere, and oh wow, he was so lucky to have survived. And then it was oh no, that was engineering.
It's nothing on some of our fucking Donegal go-kart crashes.
We love crashing at halfway karting. Sponsored? No, not sponsored, unfortunately. I was supposed to make my face big there, but sure, we'll learn for next time. We'll employ somebody else.
Your face is big
across the buttons.
45 minutes in.
Oh yeah, but nobody commented on Drake.
That's right.
Not one comment about, oh man, Drake's so class.
I see, nobody could come up with a better name.
Nobody came up with a better name. Nobody even said anything about him. He's also
Drake.
Set.
So we nicknamed him after the Six God.
Yep, that's it. So yeah, I don't really follow Formula 1. Really.
My granddad's a big fan of it. He follows it quite religiously.
That's probably how you heard about it then.
No, didn't even hear from him. I just heard it in the news or something.
Yeah.
It was more just, Lewis Hamilton was in a crash today. No biggie. All good.
Yeah, he's fine. It's all good.
Car just drove over his fucking head.
Car drove over the top of him.
He's fine.
Just because of how cars happen to be designed, there was something over his head, higher than his head, that caught the other car.
So I don't think I don't think we were intended to fucking drive at 500 miles per hour.
We're not much risk of that happened to us.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
You just imagine guys and what are these fucking clowns at today?
Hey, what is going on here? Would you stay in your lane? What about no?
Social distance.
Hey. That's not about who comes first. That's about taking part in the middle of an F1 race. No, it's about who comes first, my guy. Slow and steady, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, something I read on Reddit.
Good old Reddit. I was on Reddit myself earlier, but it was just a fucking cesspit. I didn't get any sort of useful information out of
it. So apparently, because we've left the EU, there's no real requirement anymore for the metric system to be used. So you might start seeing things being weighed in ounces and pounds and all that.
That's great because a 100 kg fucking deadlift in pounds is going to sound a lot more impressive.
A lot more fast.
Yeah.
I don't really know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if it's really entirely true or if it's because everyone's already sort of set up to be labeling things in metric.
Are you telling me I have to learn more maths?
Apparently so.
More fucking conversion.
Everything's already been set up in metric, so I don't understand why places will go out of their way to change it just because they can. So unless someone maybe they can import from America now and not have to relabel stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will have any real world implications on anything other than the numbers that are displayed.
There's no such thing as different countries now. We're all just America.
Yeah, we're all just America. Oh, fuck yeah.
Speaking of 20 years since 9/11, that's fucking bizarre.
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
What age were we when 9/11 happened?
I was
2001.
2.
I'm supposed to. I think. Well, it's.
You were also 2.
I would have been 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the parents and grandparents and stuff saying that they like saw it on TV, which would have been nuts. You're like, holy fuck.
Would have been nuts to see it on TV, but like imagine
being like because I've seen all the like sort of amateur videos and stuff like whenever it happened, you'd be like, what the actual fuck is going on?
Yeah, like my mum was saying, like you saw it on TV and you saw the planes hitting it, and then you saw them like starting to fall, and you're like, oh yeah, those buildings fell down.
Mm-hmm.
But then you sort of like, oh wait, but there's fucking people in there.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
And then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I mean, it kind of puts it into context. Like you might be having a bad day sometime, and you're like, oh fuck, this is shite. It's like, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not 500 stories up in a building having a bad day.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like it must have been bad considering, like, so you're in this building 500 stories up, and you're trying to get out. Well, you're trying to live, because human instinct is self-preservation.
Whilst you can also barely breathe.
Yeah, and like you look and you see, right, well down those, right, I'm trying to live here, so there's fire there.
I'll
jump out the window.
It's
like
fucked.
Jumping out the window was a better option.
Yeah.
Going down the stairs.
Yeah, it's fucked.
So like it must have been a fucked up situation.
Okay.
I keep sort of like half laughing when I'm talking about these things, but
yeah, it's like nervous.
It's like
sort of,
shit.
No,
could you imagine we were at?
Yeah.
Because we were at a water park recently. I don't know if I told you this, but one of our close friends, like there was like a little inflatable thing at the very corner, and you could you'd climb up a wee ladder thing that was soaking wet, so like you were slipping and stuff. But then at one side, when you got to the top, so there was the ladder, then there was a slide down that way.
Yeah,
slide and then drop over here, and then just a sheer like jump off from this height. And our friend jumped off the thing from that height, and he comes to me afterwards and he says, "Well, I tell you what, see after jumping off that, no matter how depressed I get, I'm never jumping off a building." It was just like
slightly different like, circumstances.
Slightly different circumstances, but like you can kind of. I don't know, I suppose it's like a good simulator for like, you think you want to jump off a building,
yeah,
give it a go.
Yeah. I here get this like quarter distance thing.
I think it was only like 14 or 15 feet or something.
Yeah.
But
no, I was also at one of those outdoor water park things in Donegal. Was it like a month ago or 2 months ago, and there was also like a thing you had to climb up and then like a big slide. It was actually kind of like fucking like if you had fell off of that like thing you were climbing up, you could have easily like broken your ankle. Like there was like nothing to like stop you from like going and like having like a bad fall.
Bye bye. Yeah.
But it was hilarious because I like as you know, it's like fucking it's like really cardio intensive actually. Like it takes it out of you like a lot more than you think. But whenever I like climbed to the top, like I could like feel all the food I had like coming like up, and whenever I got to the top, I was like sort of like ready to be sick. But I was like beside the slide, and there was this wee girl at the top, and she's like, you go ahead then instead. I'm like, no, I'm grand, you go ahead. But she like thought I was like scared to go down the slide. She's like, oh no, it's okay, you can go down, you're okay. I was like, no, you don't, no, I'm gonna be sick. you go down.
You go down and you'll be sliding down and sick after me.
But fuck, it was like so hard to climb up it, man. And by the time I got to the top, I thought I was gonna like fucking projectile vomit. So like any kind of like aspirations I had for doing like one of those like army boot camp courses in the next like foreseeable future. It's like it'll be a while. It'll be a while before or I'll just do it on an empty stomach.
Yeah, but getting back to 9/11, when we went to America with the school, we went to
the memorial thing.
Like the Ground Zero thing in New York.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the place.
That's where it is.
And like just like the sheer scale, because obviously where the first or one of the towers was, it's literally just like dug down to the foundations as like a waterfall.
Yeah.
And like just the sheer size, like just around it, they have all the names of all the people.
Yeah.
And there's the museum that goes down, but then there's the big, so there's.
Yeah, I'd love to go visit it. I've never been to America myself.
It's absolutely huge, man. And then like there's underground like a sort of museum thing as well. It's like a tour. And there's like some of the original, like they dug it down purposely because that's where like the foundations are for like the whole building, and you could see some of the like girders and stuff, and some of the original like brickwork,
shrapnel and stuff.
Where it all happened, I was just like mad seeing it, like
100%. You're like, fuck, that used to be there.
Yeah,
like,
that used to be
20 years ago.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Like these are the very ruins that Steve Buscemi was written through.
Fuck, funny you mentioned Steve Buscemi. I was actually reading up on 9/11 earlier, and actually some conspiracies about it too, which I don't know if I should mention in the podcast or not, because it might be touchy-feely to some people.
Conspiracy theory that Steve Buscemi did 9/11?
No, but I was actually just like looking for like photos of him like as a firefighter, and like whenever he was like volunteering like the day after 9/11, he volunteered for like a week after 9/11, I think, to like sort of try and find firefighters. But no, the conspiracy is a guy. Fuck, what's his name? But he's like a rich fellow, but I can't remember his name. But he a few weeks before 9/11, he like bought the lease to the World Trade Center, and he took out like some insurance like for terrorist attacks and stuff apparently. And apparently every morning he would have his breakfast in, I think it's called the Windows of the World, which was like the big fancy restaurant that was in one of the towers. But apparently like he would go there like religiously like nearly every morning, but the only morning he didn't go was 9/11. And apparently whenever like after it happened, they were gonna like pay him insurance for like one of the towers, and he was like, no, there was 2 attacks, and then he got like double the money or something.
There was one I saw. It's not a conspiracy theory, but it's just kind of like a coincidence. The guy Seth MacFarlane that made Family Guy. And
Michael Jackson was meant to be there too.
And like his flight was on planes that were involved. And in true Seth MacFarlane fashion, he was too hanging to get on the plane, so he just didn't bother.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to Big Mike.
See, people always say it's like, oh, see, you were in the right place at the right time. It's like, but what about all the people who weren't? It's like, you know, it's fucking whack. That's what it is.
Wacky. Like it's real big scale stuff, and you're kind of thinking like, wow.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah, like as one human being on planet, like. You think about all these like terrorist organizations and stuff, and you're just like,
cringe.
Like, you do just sort of cringe when you think of like when you think about the scale of the universe and stuff, and like obviously this might be a bit.
I know it's like we're like a fucking blip that could just be wiped out like that, but they think they have like some higher purpose that's like superior to other people's
it's like
beliefs. Yeah,
we are all just
fucking tiny meaningless blips.
We're
sorry to break it to you folks.
We're all just brains inside a skeleton, inside a muscle sack, inside of a skin sack, on top of a rock flying through Earth.
That only think they're important.
Flying through space. Like on the grand scheme of things, Earth is just fucking tiny too.
We're just organised apes.
Organised apes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts, my guy.
It's crazy.
I think we pretty much exhausted. Like now, like I can't really speak much more on it because number 1, I wasn't there. Number 2, I'm not American. Number 3, I don't know all the facts.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose we can talk a little bit about the conspiracies.
Because we didn't make them.
We didn't make the conspiracies. We don't believe this necessarily, but you know, it could be good food for thought. Well, the only one I've actually seen. Analysis was done on how the towers fell and stuff.
Oh, was that about the like bombs meant to be on the building?
So apparently it fell straight down because.
Which is kind of strange considering the planes were like so high up.
Came from sideways,
like, is the flames like didn't like just go the whole way down the building?
Yeah, So it's pretty crazy.
Cray.
That was a conspiracy. Like apparently, can jet fuel melt steel beams? Did anyone actually research it? I don't know. I haven't seen any research on it. But like apparently the angle everything fell out, the speed everything fell out was basically perfect free fall. So like basically everything was taken out from underneath it.
Yeah. Like if you look at the buildings, they just go like straight down instead of like the way you would expect it, like sort of like fall like half like off the top. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of weird. Hit it and then shear off at a certain point and then have that fall. But just straight down. Like I'm not going to say it looks fishy to me because I didn't see it with my own eyeball.
Yeah, I wasn't there. It was just a wee laddie
but like,
fucking playing wee Thomas the Tank games and shit.
end of the day, people died for no reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the reason, if you believe some, it's just to invade to get oils.
Yeah.
And then start a war in Afghanistan that only recently ended.
Yeah.
What a shit show, man.
Zoink Scoob.
Yeah. It's like what humanity's been at peace for 2% of recorded history. Like, you couldn't make
I just imagine there was like a fucking time in the caveman days where everybody was just like
vibing,
like sitting around like eating like fucking mushrooms and stuff, tripping out and like
passing joints.
Yeah.
I smoke, you have.
Yeah. The world was just like one big fucking Jamaica. Yeah. All this recorded history about the cavemen beating each other to death and all it was bollocks. Yeah, they're all just passing joints.
It's never happened. Yeah. I mean, I think we can move on.
Yeah. I think we pretty much exhausted.
So we started off with ditching the metric system and ended up there at 9/11.
Fuck. Don't know how that happened, but here, a tangent's a tangent, isn't it?
A tangent's a tangent. So let's go back to the Instagram questions, and then this will do for Instagram. So we talked about the Marvel movies a lot. So
we've talked about them like every fucking episode.
We've talked about them every episode, so let's talk about in this episode too.
Miss me with that fucking nerdy bullshit. No, nerdy bullshit. Let's go.
So basically, what are your top 3 Marvel movies and why?
Well, I think Infinity War and Endgame were like pretty much fucking up there too. But
would you count those as one movie or two?
Well, I'm going to count them as one for now. Other favourite movies, I guess. Well, Deadpool. Deadpool was Marvel, wasn't it? It wasn't Fox. Was it Fox?
No, it was Marvel, but it's not in the universe.
I don't know, like just for like sheer kind of nostalgia, I was gonna say like Tobey Maguire's like SpiderMan 1, but then again that was Sony, it wasn't really.
Yeah, that was Sony.
Yeah.
But now Marvel and Sony are working together, so could you now retroactively stick it into the fold?
I could, but something else. I guess Civil War was pretty good too.
Yeah. I kind of like that.
100%.
What are your reasons behind those decisions?
Well, it was just because Avengers, if I could fucking speak, Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame, I think it's because they were just like so big scale and there was like so much going on and it just like fucked everything up.
It tied so much together.
Yeah, and I think it just had like everybody in it and the plot was kind of good with like this big bad that they just couldn't defeat and they thought like everything was just fucked and then like half the world dies. I thought was pretty well. Actually, I love Guardians of the Galaxy too, so that might be tied for
number 1,
a third place. But no, for Deadpool, it's just because it's not the like sort of like PG kind of like Marvel thing. That's I just love Ryan Reynolds and I love his like sense of humor and I think the way he portrays Deadpool is just so good and I like that Deadpool's just got this like fucked up sense of like dark humor. Oh, 100%, because in the comics somebody asked like Deadpool what he looks like behind the mask and he says he looks like a mixture between Ryan Reynolds and a Sharpie. So it's like he actually mentions Ryan Reynolds in the comics.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I fucking love Deadpool too.
They're pretty good movies, like.
And then there was a Wolverine movie that came out in like 2012, I think, but then again that was Fox.
Was that his like origin story?
No, that came out in 2009, where Ryan Reynolds also portrayed Deadpool in it, but that's one where he had like his fucking mouth stitched up and stuff. But I think there was another one came out in 2013 actually, where he was like in Japan.
Oh yeah, that was
it was like another solo Wolverine one. But
that was his ending story.
Yeah, it was.
Spoiler: he dies in that one.
No. That wasn't Logan, but fuck, you forgot about Logan actually.
That was brilliant. Was it not?
No, there was one came out in 2013 as well where he goes to Japan. But Logan was brilliant too. It was violent as fuck. I've mentioned way more than 3 movies here, but Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame, Deadpool, and maybe Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that one where he goes to Japan is the one I was thinking about. That I misconfused with Logan.
Yeah, no, Logan was brilliant. It was like violent as fuck. I really enjoyed it.
We love the violence.
100%. I hate all this watered down shit. But, you know.
I want some real violence with my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
What about yourself?
Well, you can't not have Endgame and Infinity War because they're like there was 10, 15 years of Marvel movies that led up to it.
Yeah.
Like they were so on the seat for that with Captain America, the first Avenger. So what came out first, that or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Iron Man came out.
Yeah. Iron Man came out in 2007 or 2008. And then the first Captain America came out in 2009. Yeah.
God, I'm old.
I know, you only think you're old, 22, it's still a fucking wee laddie.
But, yeah, so obviously, Infinity War and Endgame just mainstream because, like, they brought so much together. There was so much build up to it, like, it was actually really well done.
Yeah, like, I don't think anybody can sit down and say they were shite movies.
Yeah, like throwing Thanos in as the big bad from the start. And not even having him be, like, and then bringing back Red Skull to be like, boys, I pure fucked it.
I was just fucking sitting here in the Shadow Realm.
Although I don't really not like it, but I would have preferred Red Skull to be Hugo Weaving in the latter two movies. But he's like, I don't know, is he CG or is it somebody else?
No idea, man.
He was Matrix agent.
I know who your boy is.
I love him so much. He's the best. And then
I thought he kind of looks like Mark Tremonti a wee bit, like an older sort of...
an older monster. But nah, I mean, I think... I didn't really watch many Marvel movies other than the sort of Avengers ones. I've seen X-Men, but are they produced by Fox?
They were Fox, yeah.
Fox movies. Man, why Stanley sell the good IP?
Fantastic Four was a fucking bop back in the day when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean, if I had
like the one with Jessica Alba, fuck, she was hot.
I'll put a definitive ranking on it before this just gets sort of lost in a debate of Marvel.
I know it was like top 3 movies and it just like turned into like fucking going through all the movies in existence.
Yeah. I'll go with Infinity War and Endgame as one continuous thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm a sucker for Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1 was brilliant.
I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I just kind of, I know the character development.
It's because I was going to say we could relate to Tony Stark, but how the fuck could we? We can't relate to Tony. We love the idea of being like Tony Stark.
Yeah. But then also, there was an episode of What If, and I said, I'll put a cap on this now. I'll give a rank up, but now I'm going to sidetrack. The latest episode of What If.
I haven't seen. I seen the one you showed me. But bar that, I haven't seen anything.
It's basically what if your man Killmonger from Black Panther had saved Tony Stark the very second that the Humvee crashed, and like he never becomes Iron Man and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of fresh on my mind, I guess, because at the start I was kind of recreating that scene but animated. From Iron Man 1, it's like, man, Iron Man 1 was class, I love it.
I fucking love the scene where he just has his like first suit and it's like chunky as fuck, and then Iron Man by Black Sabbath comes on, he's just like blowing through the fucking prison.
And then like, and then you think the cave in and the cave like has stopped them, and it's all silent, and they just blast through them all. That's just so good.
100%.
And then
Iron Man 3 was pretty good too. I enjoyed it.
Well, a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was good.
I don't know, I thought it was better than the second one.
Yeah. Oh, it was good that like there's the callback to that in Shang-Chi as well, where it's like the whole world was terrified of an orange.
That's true. But no, I'm a bit like yourself. Like I went through this phase when I was younger, where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get into all the comics and all." But then after a while, I was like, "Oh, I can't be."
Comics are expensive.
I can't. Well, that too. But after a while, I was like, "I can't be fucking reading this, man. I'll just watch the movies when they come out, and I'll enjoy them enough." But other than that, I'm not gonna get like really deep.
That's kind of like a thing you can really do badly for yourself is read the comics, because then the movies never live up to how you imagine things. Like especially with books that don't have pictures.
Yeah.
Like the Harry Potter books, people are like, oh yeah, the books were great.
And I've heard a lot of people say that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is one of my favourite movies, because it's trippy as fuck. If you're into like sort of edgy, psychedelic movies and you sort of like the Quentin Tarantino-esque sort of stuff, it's your
all the feet.
It's your sort of shebang. But I've heard a lot of people say that the Fear and Loathing movie doesn't live up to the books. Or is that the other? Is that the other way around? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think you did.
Alright, okay.
The book's classed with the movie second person.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yeah. No, so where was I? Yeah, Infinity War and Endgame, then Iron Man 1, and then see Guardians of the Galaxy 1 I liked, but then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 I kind of didn't. I thought it kind of dragged on a bit.
I don't know. I think I enjoyed the second one.
It's really going for like comic relief. It's really what you were keeping watching it for.
It was like
I don't know.
Like for Deadpool 2, I thought it was nearly as good as the first one, which was good. Like I thought they were both great movies.
Yeah, they were really good. But I think I'll have to stick in number 3 for the top 3 for me would be well, we've been rambling all this time and I still don't have an answer.
Winter Soldier, Civil
actually,
War.
no, I tell you what, I actually kind of liked. I thought it was really well done. Was the second SpiderMan?
The one in it? Oh, with Tom Holland. Yeah, it was pretty good too. Like they were good movies as well.
Yeah, like it's like kind of the Jack Gyllenhaal thing. The like obviously if you read the comics, you knew Mysterio was a bad dude. But like if you were going into it having not read anything from the comics and didn't know Mysterio was gonna flip, it was
an interesting plot twist.
Pretty well done twist.
Yeah.
Like being backseat, and then that links back to like Iron Man, where he came up with this concept, and Tony was like, "I call it fart." You've got my life's work, fart. I'm gonna kill you. And somebody else beat him too.
Yeah. But I think I was going to say something, but I can't remember what I was going to say.
That must have been important then.
Story of my life.
Nothing I say is important.
Oh no, I know what I was going to say. There's a new Nicolas Cage movie coming out, and it's pretty much he's in like China or something, or somewhere in Asia, but like everybody's like fucking cowboys, and he must be some criminal or something. So this cowboy goes up to him and is like, "They've kidnapped my granddaughter, so you're gonna do me a favor and retrieve her back." And they like put like all these explosives on him, and it's like, "If you don't retrieve my granddaughter in 14 days, then I don't need to tell you what's gonna happen, son," or whatever. And then it's just like,
is he Morgan Freeman?
he fucking might as well be. He's like trying to do this like southern accent a wee bit better than I was doing there. And then it's just like yeah, he gets all these explosives put on him. Then he's like, "Right, go fucking find my granddaughter quick." So it's kind of like Nicolas Cage is the Suicide Squad.
Oh my god!
I think that was like the sort of premise of it.
I saw a thing. Nicolas Cage said he's never going to retire.
Really? That's great. I don't
yes.
think he can afford to. I think he's one of those actors that went bankrupt.
He's always perpetually broke.
I think so.
I thought there was like a college humor. Either it was an anime. I think it was an animation. It's like how Nicolas Cage gets work. Like his agent phones him up like, "Nick, I found you this script. I'll do it."
Yeah. He just does like any.
Okay, Nick. Now this is a terrible movie. You're gonna be a toilet. I'll do it.
I think there was like one of his older movies, which is you know that like meme face of him where he's like fucking these like. Or whatever. It's like I think it was that movie, but I think like the like filming of that movie there was like some like blunder or something where in one of the scenes you can actually see like one of the mics that like somebody's like holding like in the actual frame. But what else was I going to say?
That's what he's looking at.
There's another interesting movie coming out made by Guillermo del Toro where Bradley Cooper plays the lead and Willem Dafoe's in it, and who the fuck else is in it? I can't remember. But it's called Nightmare or something, like Nightmare Alley or something like that there. But it looks pretty fucking interesting. It's like kind of the like 1920s like freak show circus vibe sort of thing, if you know what I mean. But it looks pretty interesting. It's like some psychological horror thing. If it's got Bradley Cooper and Willem Dafoe, I'm all for it.
Class.
Yeah.
Someone commented on the last episode that there's a thing coming out called Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Tang, yeah.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard people speak about it, but
it's
I don't know
coming out on Amazon Prime, and it looks absolutely class.
Does it?
I could only find like the the concept trailer, probably what they pitched it to Amazon with. But it looks great. So big shouts to that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Movie.
So I'm just trying to find the name of this movie that's coming out. So apparently he's producing Pinocchio as well, Guillermo del Toro. But what's this movie called? Nightmare Alley. It is called Nightmare Alley. It's got Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, and other people. But it looks pretty fucking cool.
I googled Guillermo del Toro Brad Pitt movie and Megamind came up.
No, not Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Brad Cooper. Oh, well, that makes sense.
Did I say Brad Pitt?
No, you didn't. I just totally forgot that they're two different people.
Wait, Brad Pitt was in Megamind? What the fuck?
I don't know. It wasn't Google I used, it was Ecosia because I care about the environment, but
that's
the person mess with my head, like...
I'm pretty sure Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds might be working on a movie together, because I saw this thing on Instagram where they were like dressed in these like 1800s outfits, but they were singing that song. I can be purple. Like they were doing like a harmony thing. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty great.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, he has a movie coming out with The Rock and Gal Gadot called Red Notice. It kind of looks like your stereotypical spy comedy thing, but I mean, I don't mind movies that know what they're trying to do as well. Yeah. Like even if they're not reinventing the wheel, even if they're just like shining the wheel and cleaning it up, you know.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock is kind of in everything at the minute.
He's you wouldn't say he's like one of the best actors of all time, but he sure knows how to fucking star in a blockbuster.
He's got his own show. He got Young Rock as well, and that's winning Emmy or awards.
He has his own production company, Seven Bucks, and then he has like a new energy drink thing now, Zoa Energy, and then he has his Terramana tequila and his Under Armour sponsorships, and his man's fucking loaded.
Talk about diversifying your portfolio, eh?
Yeah, I mean, he wakes up at like 4 a.m. every morning. Apparently, he has this app. I can't remember what it's called, but apparently it like sets your alarm for like the same time that he's gonna wake up that day or something. It's apparently like sync your day to like grind with him or something.
Why would you want to do that though?
It's pretty fucking. I don't know. Maybe you just want to get on his grind. It's like one of those things where you're like, I'm gonna get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, and then it's 4 a.m. and you're like, fuck that, and then you like postpone your alarm until 8 a.m.
You just look at it like, Dwayne, go you on ahead, son.
you be the hero you're meant to be.
Yeah, you be the guy. I mean, you're already the guy, and of course it works for you.
But I mean, if you were getting up to go, fuck yeah, I gotta go to like set today and act in this interesting movie. Like I think I'd be pretty excited to get up at 4 a.m.
like you would do it if you're getting paid, but like
100%.
The job I get paid for doesn't start till 9 a.m. Why would I wake up at 4?
Yeah.
Go away.
But it's like, I suppose you have to like start to like work towards that, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows either. Like the amount of fucking meetings he has to have, reading through scripts, probably like reading into different characters and shit. Business meetings, getting up at 4 a.m. to go train at the gym.
Let's not beat around the bush about it. Like, as nice as The Rock is, I think he's kind of like Keanu Reeves, where his character is him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it like you're not gonna see like The Rock is gonna like display like fucking Ted Bundy in like a documentary.
Yeah, like he's not gonna be Christian Bale about it. He's not gonna be ripped in one movie and 10.
He's gonna be the badass muscle guy in every movie he's in. Yeah.
And that's his thing. That works for him. No shade, no disrespect. Like he's
no,
as if he cares what we think.
Exactly. No, I love The Rock, but
no, he's good. Like he's.
But I love Christian Bale too. And funny you mentioned him. Did you ever see that video? I think it was Terminator Salvation, where the director was like doing something, like putting the camera like too far in his face and like putting him off or something, and. Christian Bale just goes off on him. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You're a fucking amateur. What do you have to say for yourself?" and all this. And then the guy goes to like say something back to him. He's like, "Do you want me to come over there and kick your fucking ass? You're a fucking amateur, man. I'm never fucking doing a movie with you again. Fucking amateur. Like when you can hear the audio recording on YouTube, you have to listen to it. But
I think I have.
Christian Bale's like he's renowned for like having like a really short temper apparently, and he just went off on the director of Terminator Salvation. Like.
He's a big method actor, so he
100%. I suppose if you were like fucking starving yourself to like get down to whatever, you're gonna be cranky.
Want to eat? Let me do the part and get out of here.
You're gonna be cranky.
You don't fucking understand what it's like working with actors. That's what that is. That's what that is, man. I'm telling you. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. You wouldn't have done that otherwise.
No, what it is looking at the light and making sure that you are...
I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. You know, shut up for a second, all right? I'm gonna go. Do you want me to go fucking trash your lights? Do you want me to fucking trash them? Then why are you trashing my scene? You are trashing my scene. You do it one more fucking time, and I ain't walking on this set if you're still hired. I'm fucking serious. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, but I don't fucking cut it when you're bullshitting and fucking around like this on set.
Yeah. So, yeah, just carrying on with what I was saying about Christian Bale as well, because he's such an interesting guy. I think before he had done Batman in 2004, he had done a movie, The Machinist, which I haven't actually seen, but in that movie he went down to like some fucking ridiculous weight and he was literally like skin and bones. So then he had a conversation with Christopher Nolan and he was like, like for Batman you're gonna have to like bulk up or whatever and you're gonna have to do it fast or whatever. So apparently, like the next time Christopher Nolan like saw Christian Bale, this was in 2005, or maybe it wasn't later that year in 2004 because they were probably producing it then. But apparently, the next time he saw him, Christian Bale was actually too fat then. So he was like, Jesus Christ, Christian is like it's meant to be Batman, not Fat Man. So he had to actually cut down again. So he went from like being skin and bones to bulking up to being too heavy to then having to cut down again to like. Yeah, he did. Like, and that fucking imagine that fucking dedication. Like I find it so hard to like stick to
kind of stuff. Yeah,
stick to diets.
Like, I can't really do that much either. Like, I had a year's gym membership. And I think I went about 17 times.
Yeah. Well, no, I love going to the gym, but the eating's definitely the hardest part.
Yeah, they're keeping it on.
But I mean, I suppose like for his paycheck, if someone was to say, hey, you're gonna make $5 million if you lose this weight, you're like, aye boy, start now. Just like I'm gonna fast in this room for like 10 years.
You're going to make $5 million, but you've got to eat chicken for every day for every meal for the next 15 years. Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So what you're saying about method acting as well. Like, so you have obviously the greats. I'm not saying the greats because I don't think they're great, just that's because that's what they're called.
Yeah.
So you have like Heath Ledger and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He method acted for the Joker, so he was really
he had like a diary and stuff.
Yeah, sort of like making himself go mad half. And then you have Christian Bale, who he gets method he's sort of method, but not quite as.
He like sort of morphs into his character, like with his like body and stuff.
Like, I think he's in character on set as well. Like he doesn't call people by the.
I think so, like there's I don't know if you've ever seen American Psycho. It's one of my favorite movies. It was in 2000, but whenever he was actually doing interviews for American Psycho, he was like still talking in like the New York American accent.
Like the way Sacha Baron Cohen does when he's like does press tours for like the Dictator and Ali G and stuff. Yeah.
And I think someone else who was a big method actor is Daniel Day-Lewis as well. Yeah. I think he was a method actor.
But then like you see people like Jared Leto who is a method actor, and I do use that because I do not quite like how he goes about things. Like what was he like? He was mailing used condoms to people and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like he was like because he thought like if people found out he wasn't doing crazy things to like get into character, then it wouldn't like be as good. But it like, turned out to be shite anyway.
Still bad.
But then Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was amazing, I thought.
Yeah.
And
then apparently Jared Leto was upset that they didn't reach out to him about doing.
But his Joker was so fucking cringy, man. All his damage shit and all. Like, I prefer the Joker whenever he was like the sort of like anarchist psychopath, sadist, the way like Heath Ledger and Joaquin did it. And I remember we were actually talking about this a few weeks ago. that the scene in Joker, spoiler alert, is not really a big deal, but whenever he just takes out the contents of his fridge and just sits in it, that was just improvised, which was a nice touch. That was pretty. Yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
But yeah, I'm talking about Jared Leto. On Reddit, I saw a funny thing. Like some people saw him live.
I like some of 30 Seconds to Mars songs.
Well, sorry, they saw 30 Seconds to Mars, but they were there for the music, not for him. But he was sort of like, "Oh, I'm here, my adoring fan," and everybody was like, "Shut the fuck up and sing the songs." And they started booing him and stuff too, man. And he just took a hissy fit and walked off stage.
Only Axel can get away with that behaviour.
Yeah, only Axel can do that.
Yeah.
Well, but it was like Nickelback as well. So did they not go on stage somewhere?
Oh yeah, he's like, if you like keep booing me, I'm gonna walk off stage or something.
Do you want to hear some rock and roll or not? And they just kept throwing stuff at him.
Chad Kroeger. Him and Corey Taylor had like a fucking feud a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Corey Taylor says he looked like a thumb or something.
I could see it, like, to be fair.
I don't even know how it started. But
look at this grab!
But it's,
But yeah, no, I mean, what do you mean you don't like Nickelback? They make great music!
Yeah. I don't know, I enjoy some of Nickelback songs, like, it's like guilty pleasures, you know?
Yeah.
But it is like sort of dude bro, like cowboy rock, I'm a badass. So, like, yeah.
I remember, I think, was it me that introduced you to Nickelback with,
it could have been.
What song was it?
I mean, whenever
whatever was their mainstream song around with.
Well, I mean, whenever I was like fucking 6 or 7, like you probably like, if you were walking around the Coleraine town, you know the way like they have like speakers that play music sometimes.
Yeah.
All you ever heard was you know that song, "This Is How You Remind Me."
Yeah.
I just remember it being on all the time whenever I was younger, so that's probably
heard them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, memories. Nostalgia coming back to me. But yeah, I mean, this podcast is going pretty well.
No, 100%. We've stuck to it pretty well too. I was just about to add something there to us talking about Nickelback and all.
Yeah.
Bands like Craic, who I would used to take the piss out of and stuff now. We actually we vibed to them in our drives now, and it just makes you feel like some like fucking old washed up man.
Yeah,
getting old in our young ages, I would say.
Like I remember you saying, like when you were sort of showing me who, when you were in your Tool phase, you were saying, oh yeah, so this is Creed. Like listen to this guy. He's basically copying Eddie Vedder's voice. And I was like,
well, you kind of still.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
But no, it's Scott Stapp makes great music.
You can't say he doesn't know what he's doing. Like.
Yeah, like he does make good tunes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a shame they all fell out so bad.
Yeah, he like started living in like a van and stuff or something, or like living in his car or something as well. It's pretty bizarre.
I think he was on bipolar or something similar. But like Creed broke up apparently, and then they came back for like a reunion tour for Full Circle, or is it Full Circle or is it Circle?
I have no idea.
One of the albums with circles in it. They came back for a reunion tour, but Scott Stapp insisted that he get a separate bus to the rest of them.
Oh, that's good band relationship.
Yeah,
he's almost getting into the Oasis territory there.
And then obviously he kind of went a bit AWOL again, and then finally started getting treatments. But I think they're all good friends now again. So
yeah, that's pretty good. And so he had like a solo album that came out like recently in the last few months, or was it like a year ago?
2 years ago now.
Was it? I haven't actually listened to it, but I remember you saying it was pretty good, and my dad enjoys it too.
It gives me some vibes of like other songs that are kind of like mainstream.
I think I suppose you do have to kind of change with the times though a wee bit too. Like even Liam Gallagher's solo stuff now I actually really enjoy, because it's not like it's not just like mainstream, like sort of, it has like mainstream elements to it, but it's not just mainstream washed up shite. Like he actually, like his solo stuff is actually good, and it still has his like what would you call it, like vibe to it. And he's actually coming to Belfast next next Friday. I'm going to see him, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, like I don't mind like indie music or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks I hate it because it's not headbanging and screaming.
So that's the like Oasis were kind of indie, but like I would like consider them like a proper like rock and roll band. Like they were one of the last greats like from Britain. Yeah.
Like my thing with indie bands isn't that they are indie bands, it's not that they're not screaming. It's that they all only ever seem to sing about a woman leaving them. Or
especially indie bands today, they all wear their like fucking hipster ass like baggy shirts and like they're like chinos that are like fucking rolled up to like halfway up their leg and like they got their like swaggy earrings on.
Like I basically say that. Anyone that says, "Oh, you never listen to any of the music I like," I'm like, well, if you
listen to good music, then I will.
If you play me a single song from any of the bands you like that isn't about losing a girl, trying to get a girl, or like any of that.
Yeah. See, surprisingly, Oasis were never like about that. Oasis was all like rock and roll and like feel good songs.
Yeah, and that's why they were so good and so weird, because people could like even the metalheads could get behind it because
there's a band that inspired Oasis as well called the Stone Roses, and they're pretty good too. They're like an indie band. They were one of the first proper ones. And then there's another band my dad was talking about. They were called the Charlatans. I haven't really listened to much of them, but they're actually coming to Limelight soon, I think.
Oh,
but yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Might listen to more of them and see if they're worth going to. But yeah.
Let's hark back to episode 1 for a second. The Caged Hearts, the band.
Yeah.
So we were chatting to the guys. When was it? Last Sunday.
Last Sunday. Yeah.
Last Sunday. Well, they have finished EP number 1.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that when it's hitting shelves or
definitely
streaming platforms, streaming platform list boxes. Get it downloaded.
100%. And follow them on socials if you want more information about when the EP is coming out.
Yeah, we'll try and leave some links in the show notes if we can find them.
But yeah, no, I can't stress like how well put together their like first single was.
Yeah.
It definitely pleasantly surprised me.
Yeah. And like the guys are so down to earth as well. Like
100%.
They're not like on that. They're not on that big power trip. It's like, oh, we got a good load of listens on our single, so we're going to be untouchable. Like, you know.
Yeah.
They're sort of very
humble,
very down to earth. Yeah. Humble.
Although I do like that quote from Kanye, where it's like everybody's telling you to be humble. When was the last time people told you to be amazing? Like, be brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of a mixture of both. Like you know, if you put in the work, that you can kind of sort of accept.
Yeah, you do have like bragging rights, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's kind of enough to know in yourself that you can brag about it, like it's in the shape.
100%. I kind of get that now. Whenever I know I'm putting the work into something, it's not like I know it's not like the best in the world thing, but you can like feel proud of it because you know the work you're putting into it yourself. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's it. I mean that's kind of all I really have to say. Let's go back to the notes.
Yeah.
What I have in the notes? That's not the notes. That's OBS. Right, yes. So Apple has threatened to drop Facebook from the App Store.
Why?
How about you guess why first? You give me a guess. Why do you think Apple would try and drop Facebook from the App Store? It's over concerns of something.
Well, privacy concerns? No?
No. Well, kind of, but not quite.
I honestly have no idea.
You ready to hear this?
Go for it.
Human trafficking.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe people are human trafficking by selling wardrobes for £3,000 and putting people in them. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the crack is behind it. There is a link to read more in the show notes, but it was kind of a clickbaity article that I saw, so I kind of just
And speaking of Facebook, what are those new glasses they're bringing out? They're called Ray-Bans.
Yes.
Ray-Bans Moments.
Ray-Ban Stories.
Ray-Ban Stories. Yeah.
Man, I have no clue. Like, I think it's going to be so Snapchat tried something similar.
Yeah.
Where I think, well, they still do. You can buy them from certain select vending machines in California.
In Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Basically, so the Snapchat spectacles, as they call them, they would like pair to your phone, and then like you would just tap on them, and it would like if you double tap or something, it would start recording. So you could like record a story from your POV, or you could like take a picture.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing something similar.
Yeah, I watched the video on it, and that was pretty much the premises. But his, he was like, "Oh, and we wanted to have your privacy concerns in mind. So what we do is we have like this light up LED light that turns on whenever you're recording." And someone in the comments is just like, "Yeah, but someone will just tape over that."
Yeah, pretty much. No, but something that really kind of bums me out about it is Facebook Assistant. Like, are there not enough assistants about?
Yeah.
Like, surely they could have just worked with Google or something. Some Google Assistant on that. or put Alexa in it. Like, TVs come with Alexa these days.
Yeah. But I can definitely see people's concerns about that. Like, imagine there's like and this is just like one example. Like, there's definitely other concerns. But imagine there's like someone just like standing there, and like someone's just like doing the side eye, like sort of looking at them, and then like recording, and like the person's none the wiser because like this guy's got fucking sunglasses on, and he could just be like, for all they know, just you know, and then he's just got a video of them, and they have no fucking idea.
Yeah. Or like you accidentally start recording, and then you go and change your baby's nappy or something.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah. Accidentally like live streaming it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oof.
Yeah. That could,
like I said, it'll happen.
Oh, 100%. There'll be some blunders. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's. I don't know. It's scary. They're out now. I think. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, don't worry about all the haters," because sure, like look at Google Glass, and that was a great idea, but people shot that down just because they were scared of change.
I feel like the idea is good, but I feel like before they like sort of roll it out, they should come up with like better ways of implementing privacy.
I mean, I think really there's only so much you can do. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You can there's ways around every privacy measure. I think it's just Facebook companies seem to be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seem to be proactive.
Being a productive method. Of
I mean, if you want to be like fully private and safe all the time, then do anything to do with the internet or like taking videos or fucking media is just.
Stay inside all day and play with your Nokia 3310, and that'll get you off the grid. Like,
just like stay under your fucking rock so that no one can hurt you.
Yep, that's it. Stay under your rock. What that actually leads me into is that doesn't lead me into it, but my previous point did, where so Apple threatened to drop Facebook from the App Store, but there was the whole thing with them and Epic Games.
Right, I didn't hear about this.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
So basically, Apple charges 30% of everything you make on in-app purchases from their platform. So like if you're on iOS and you buy Fortnite like V-Bucks through the App Store, then Apple takes a 30% cut. So to get around it, developers just like put the price up and they get the same money.
Yeah.
But then, they can't put it up exactly 30% because that's like breaching the terms, because you can't increase it just to get the same money.
Yeah.
Like it's the same with PayPal, you can't invoice people for more than it's worth just to get the same after the PayPal fee. You can't pass the buck for the fees basically. So it's a little bit more expensive, but not enough to offset the cost, so they still lose money. So they're like, oh, you can go to our website and get it for less here.
Yeah.
But then Apple were like, hey kid, that's against the developer agreement. You can't do that, so we're going to kick your game off our store. And iOS was one of Fortnite's biggest points of ingress, so they then started losing money from V-Bucks sales and everything because the wee weans couldn't play Fortnite on their mommy's phone.
Thank fuck.
Thank God, hey. And then, so basically, Epic Games took Apple to court and said, well, you can't do this because then you're enforcing a monopoly over your ecosystem. Because, like, like on Android you can sideload apps, but you can too on iPhone technically, but it's kind of really hard.
It's not the way it's meant to be.
Because you have to get a Mac and then get yourself a developer account and sideload your own book. So basically they're coming from it, like, on PC there's Steam, Battle.net, Epic Games, all these ways to get games. On Android you can sideload games, you can get stuff from other stores, you can get stuff from the Play Store. iOS, they've enforced this monopoly. So basically they were coming from that angle. So Apple for some reason saw fit to then subpoena Valve for records on around 65 million versions of games. And Valve basically turned up to court and said, we're not giving you this because it's not relevant. You're asking about apps. We make games. No.
Yeah.
Away on, you're not getting a thing.
Away on the fuck you hurry.
Pretty much. And so Apple were kind of side-slapped there, and then I didn't hear much about it for another few months. But a ruling has come out, and the ruling is, so basically Epic Games has to pay Apple money for violating their agreement.
Okay.
But Apple have been told, you see that thing about making your platform the only way for purchases to be made? Nah.
Fucking undo that.
Stop that now.
Yeah.
So it is now legal for Epic Games to say, if you want to pay less for these, you can get them
it here.
But if you want the convenience of literally just pressing pay and looking at your phone to get them, click here.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Whereas previously it was you can only do it through Face ID or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a lose-lose situation, which makes me happy.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar, it's like similar to like the PSN store where like you can get games on there and they like fucking cost you a fortune, whereas like you could just buy like hard copies of them, they'll be a lot cheaper, you know.
We call that diversification.
Yeah, boy.
So I just think it's really good. It's because it's kind of bringing gaming into the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's like they were both wrong, but Apple was slightly less wrong, so they get less of a slap. Because basically Epic was trying to say that Apple has a monopoly but on games, or on mobile games, but the thing is that the App Store is for apps.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying Fortnite's a game, but then it's on the App Store, so is it a game or is it an app? It's a game. It's a fucking game. But anyway, so it's all been sorted now, and everyone's unhappy, which is why I'm happy. So
just love to see other people sad. That's what elevates my energy.
It is not enough that I succeed. Everyone else must be.
Everyone else must feel. Man woke up and chose hatred.
But I also, it's not really in the news, but there is a laptop that has come out. It's called the Framework laptop. You can get it at frame.work.
Okay.
I don't have one. But basically they're like a repairability first laptop. And so like, you know the way like you've heard from me complaining that it's ridiculously hard to get parts for things, and whenever you do get parts for things, certain device manufacturers that share similar characteristics to the pair would then turn around and say, oh sir, that there's not an original part, even though that would still come up if I bought two of the same device and swapped the parts between them from them.
Yeah.
Oh, those parts aren't original. Yeah, no they are. You just can't verify that it was you that swapped them. So basically this company has turned around and basically said, well, it is possible to make really thin products. So they brought out this laptop, literally every component. You can open the thing with a Starhead screwdriver that they give you with the thing, and also there's like every screw in it is the same, so you don't even imagine different little screwdrivers.
That's pretty handy.
Which you know, like from cleaning up to set everything up here, I have so many little screwdrivers lying around.
Oh yeah.
From fixing pear-shaped devices. Man, it's such a breath of fresh air. It'll hopefully shake up the industry.
No, 100%.
Because like every piece, like if you want to change your like hardware or your RAM, if you scan a QR code at the back, it'll be like, oh, here's a guide on how to change this.
I think it'll make like kind of like hardware engineers look less glamorous though. It's like, fuck you, we don't need you. We're gods of our own devices now. Yeah. We know how to change these. Yeah, like said the 10-year-old.
Like that's the thing, like because everything's moving towards a model now of like you don't own anything you buy, you're renting it from the company. So like if this thing sitting in front of you here that I'm recording this with was to break.
What are you talking about? It's just the fourth wall. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. It's just me and you sitting in front of each other. But if this laptop was to break, the recommendation is you buy a new one. It costs nearly £1,200. Are you fucking serious? Let me fix it? Nah. Like there's chips now. There's chips in these laptops that are basically only manufactured by one company that do the same thing as something else that company manufactures. But these boys phoned up and said, so you see that chip that you already make? We want you to make that chip the exact same. But you see, instead of that pin outputting over there, we want you to switch the output up there, and then only sell this chip to us. So now anytime that chip breaks, which was $5 before, nobody can get it, and like £1,000 machine is out the door because you can't get a $5 chip this size to fucking fix it. Like, it just makes me so fucking angry.
They just want to make everything harder so that they can make the most money they can.
Yeah, and it's the same with John Deere tractors as well. Like, if you miss one single payment,
the fucking cultures.
if you miss one single payment on your brand new John Deere tractor, it will be dead in the middle of the field. Because John Deere will be like, oh, you didn't pay your bill, so your tractor's not allowed to go anymore. Pay your bill to reactivate your tractor. And like, why? Why bought? And Tesla's the same.
Oh, really?
You can get like there's a thing you can get from Tesla to like boost your performance or whatever, but there's also aftermarket ones that you can put on that cost considerably less.
Mm-hmm.
But if your Tesla then detects that you have installed on the aftermarket ones, it's all of a sudden not as powerful.
That sounds quite dodgy.
Even hark back to the McDonald's conspiracy.
That's what I was thinking about there.
So when we were talking about like the machines giving really bad error codes, somebody made a thing that you could plug in, and it would decode the error codes for you and say and send you an email and basically say, oh, you're the manager of this franchise restaurant. This is just going wrong with your ice cream machine. This is all you need to do.
Or somebody could just change all the code that all the ice cream machines have and just make the error message.
Oh, they could, but then they wouldn't make enough money.
Exactly.
So this other had to set up his own company and be like, oh yeah, so we plug this into the back of your ice cream machine, it'll email you anytime a code goes off. And now McDonald's are fucking suing him. Sure.
You're solving people's problems. Stop.
Yep, you're solving our problems, so that's not making us meet our agreement with them to get enough repairs, so you need to stop that now or we're going to send the lawyers after you. Oh, it's just such comedy. Welcome to corporate America, man.
I always live in hope someday that I'll just like buy some random domain and then like some company will want to buy it off me for some like insane price.
Money.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, see, that's what happened. Somebody like saw that Apple were doing like iPad, iPhone, etc. So they went ahead and trademarked iWatch and sat on it and sat on it and sat on it waiting for the Apple Watch. And then when Apple got to it, they're like, oh, somebody's already trademarked it. We'll call it the Apple Watch instead. And the dude just has his trademark and they didn't buy it from him. He didn't even ask him.
Yeah. I think there was there some guy recently was able to buy one of the Google domains. It might have been like the Canadian one or something. but he didn't. Whenever he found out that he bought it, I think he shot himself and he gave it back to Google then.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It was on the news though. I remember reading about it in the maybe it was last year sometime. But yeah, there was something happens. I don't know how the fuck it happened, but he was able to buy the domain to one of the Google.
It must have expired or something, and then he got it just as it expired.
Yeah.
That's quite funny. Should have sat on it and be like, hey, what's it worth to you? I got it fair and square.
Yeah, Google just send out some hitmans and hitmans, I can't speak, hitmans.
I bought it through Google Domains, what do you mean?
But yeah, that's pretty funny.
So yeah, no, but it's just the framework laptop, it's great. You know screen bezels. Like the bit around the edge of your screen, literally it's magnetic, so if it cracks, you just pull it off. Or if your screen cracks, you can just pull the bezel off, take the screen out.
Fuck, they're just making hardware engineering so much easier.
Yeah. And then you're and it's as thin as this is. And this is the way it is because they say, oh, we can't make it any thinner without hard soldering parts of the board and stuff. Oh no, you can't do that. No, when you clearly can.
Yeah. It's all in the interest of making money somewhere else.
Yep. And it's a 13:10 aspect ratio, so it's kind of square. So you can see more down than you can sideways.
Fair
Which
enough.
is good for programming and stuff because you get long files. Unless you're programming in Java, then you need a big monitor. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no! Please don't do that. Instead of pressing Alt Tab, I pressed Alt Q and then quit OBS. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I had. Yeah. That's my notes exhausted.
I don't think I really have anything else. I can just feel my eyes getting really heavy because my brain's about to shut down.
I think this episode's done.
Yeah. How far are we in anyway?
An hour and 20 minutes.
It's decent enough, you know.
That's a decent one. Cut it here.
Bye.
Stop pulling that shit up. Alright, folks, well, we appreciate you tuning in on this episode as with all our other episodes, and you know, if you want to leave a message for the next episode, talk about anything we talked about, head to the first link in the show notes. I know that Anchor automatically adds it at the bottom of the notes, but they're really, really, really long, so I'm going to put it at the top too. And yeah, you can also get at the link tree.
Or if you don't want to go on the Anchor and stuff like that to leave notes or voice messages or whatever, the next time we pull up one of our Ask Me Anything on Instagram, you can leave your kind of suggestions or questions there too.
And as always, if you know us, you can send us your
You can also
questions.
do that, yeah.
I do like some, like there's 3 or 4 people I know that as they watch, they send me their commentary on their thoughts on what we're talking about, which is good. It's where I get my corrections from most of the time, because they say things that I meant to say or that I thought I already said.
Yeah.
So yeah, do keep doing that too if you're one of those folk. So from the both of us,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much, and
See you in
goodbye.
episode 6.